Hey all, Avros here, back with the next Lufenia Plus fight. This is for the release of Vayne's BT and its realisation, along with Cloud of Darkness's BT returning and its realisation, which is a lot of words to say for I didn't use either of these BTs or characters for this fight. This is a 50-turn fight against two Rafflesia bosses, whose orb spawns in at 79% HP and remains there for the rest of the fight. It starts with a 10 count and is increased by 4 from breaking the boss, including rebreaking, which is why Vayne or COD are good for this fight. Due to this fight having such a tight turn count, it's also why free turns or follow-up damage is so useful, as well as how high the brave reductions are for both bravery gain and damage, being 80 and 90% respectively. To make sure you can get through this fight, you really need to counteract these effects. The bosses do have two other major mechanics to know about. When concentrating appears and they get pollen falling around them is when you need to take 3 turns before the boss to prevent their next attack, which will remove their debuffs as well as your own buffs. The other is that they will warp a turn in front of your own and remove their debuffs if you take 12 turns in a row without letting them get a turn, as well as most of their attacks delaying you and more so if they break you. Today's strategy comes from El Rocky Raccoon over on Reddit, and this is using a team of Bartz, Y'shtola, and Core, along with a friend Cloud of Darkness for safety that I didn't end up needing to use. The core of this strategy is to link Core to Y'shtola as soon as possible after he uses Sephiroth's Octaslash call, and then having Bartz use Faris's Open Fire call into his BT plus finisher, and Y'shtola to use her BT plus finisher as well. Once enough turns have passed with Bartz getting his BT aura to 3 stacks, and Y'shtola's BT count getting to 7 turns left, using Sid Rain's 2 calls on Y'shtola, his base skill into LD call, followed by her BT phase, which will do a lot of damage to the boss quickly. In my case, I had Y'shtola's turn up first, so did the BT plus finisher, into Core's turn, so used the Sephiroth call, into Snowrake targeting Y'shtola to get some damage up on both, and then used his EX Lion's Roar. Bartz then used Open Fire, and then used his own BT plus finisher, and then I let both bosses get a turn, which triggered Core to counterattack, breaking both. Y'shtola then used Sion's Arrow, and both bosses got a turn, preventing the 12 consecutive turns here at the start of the fight. Core used Snowbreak again, and Bartz used All Boost and Missile to stack his BT aura, with Y'shtola healing the party from the Toxify damage from the boss's attack with her EX, and then used Sion's Arrow again into Core using Snowbreak another time. The bosses got another turn here, with both getting their Lufenia orb at around 79% HP. Once I went back to Y'shtola's turn, I used Sid Rain's Cavalry Rush to get launch damage, and then used his LD call to get some more launch damage and its effect up on Y'shtola for her burst phase. For the burst phase, I used her LD, which with Sid as a launch, so alternating attack targets for the rest of the burst phase to get the launches evened out between both, into Afflatus Misery, Sion's Arrow, HP attack plus, Afflatus Misery, and then the finisher. This was a massive BT phase that totaled about 7.3 million damage. This left both the bosses barely above 40% HP, so for the rest of the fight I had Bartz use Double Hand to finish his mastery stacks and launched, and then Core used Reaper's Gale into Snowbreak onto Y'shtola, who then used Sion's Arrow, and unfortunately the bosses got an instant turn here which purged all of its debuffs. After this I used EI Nuki on Bartz into Lion's Roar after a couple more counters, and then got some more counters before eating another Toxify. This made sure the bosses didn't get another instant turn, and then with the bosses having had those turns, I used Y'shtola's LD, Sion's Holy to rebreak and restack the orb into Afflatus Misery, used Faris's LD call on Bartz into Elemental attack, and then on Y'shtola's next turn used Summon, used Sion's Holy again into Y'shtola's EX to make sure the HP requirement was met, Afflatus Misery another time, Core then hit Reaper's Gale into Rafflesia, killing one boss, and then used Reaper's Gale to finish the last one. This was a very quick fight with all the bravery gain increases on both Bartz and Y'shtola here, making sure that there wasn't any problem with getting the damage dealt, and this ended up with a svelte turn count of 16 turns total. On that note, thank you for watching, and if you'd like any further assistance with this fight, please ask in the comments down below, and enjoy the rest of the video.
責務は果たす。
去りなさい。助け合いだ。
承知。責務は果たす。
助け合いだ。
承知。責務は果たす。
油断したわね。助け合いだ。
承知。責務は果たす。
蹴りをつけるわ。すべてのエーテルよ、ここに集え。解き放たん。これで諦めて。
承知。
行くわよ。
責務は果たす。魂ごと砕く。責務は果たす。梅雨払いはしてやるさ。沈んでもらおう。責務は果たす。
去りなさい。助け合いだ。
責務は果たす。
成敗。
責務は果たす。責務は果たす。責務は果たす。人たちで切り落とす。燃えたけれ。責務は果たす。責務は果たす。責務は果たす。責務は果たす。
逃がさない。聖なる輝きよ。
責務は果たす。
油断したわね。痛いじゃ済まないぜ。よっ。甘く見るなよ。穴から俺は敵だよ。
責務は果たす。
逃がさない。聖なる輝きよ。
責務は果たす。
油断したわ。
承知。
助け合いだ。
責務は果たす。魂ごと砕く。責務は果たす。ついてこれるか。 果たす。魂ごと砕く。上々だ。よくやった。